Depression is real. Depression impacts more people than we are aware of. And if we're not careful, or as we can see clearly from media, from news reportings, that depression is taking people out one by one. Before, suicide was a major issue outside of the church. But now suicide is running rampant within the church. As we deal with depression, we should be reminded that God truly loves us, and that even though things are painful currently, that it's not necessarily outside of God's plan. Sometimes God's plan is that we maneuver through tough terrain to get to our breakthrough. But what happens to you as you maneuver through the tough terrain if you get lost or get stuck in the midst of the things that you're supposed to only pass through? So what shall we then say to that thing? That God is for us. And understanding God is for us should at least give us a springboard into the joy of the Lord, into the peace of the Lord, into the love of God, to know that He does not put more on us than we can bear. What happens is that we encounter things that we believe we cannot bear, and we pray a prayer and still wrestle, and we sing a song and still wrestle, and we put on a great smile and still wrestle. What are you wrestling with? You're wrestling with yourself. Jacob wrestled with God and got his breakthrough. To defeat depression, we have to make a connection with God, a greater connection than what we have. Not only do we have to make that connection with God, but then we have to connect with who we really are, and connect and be real about what's really going on in our lives. And not only lift up the negatives of our lives, but lift up the positives in our lives and encourage ourselves in the Lord. Encouraging yourself is a good step toward coming out of any depressed state you may find yourself in. God is able.